Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about IGCSE grade thresholds and how to calculate your marks using the grade thresholds and everything about thresholds that you need to know. So let's start with this. You look at your results and you see these numbers, but you don't know what these numbers mean. And that's where grade thresholds come in. So this is a document and it's available for every single subject on the Cambridge website. So let's look at the first part of the document. So this is IGCSE physics, and this is paper 1, which is core, and the highest grade available is C, that's why A and B are blank. But let's look at the extended version, the multiple choice P2. To get an A, you can get a 26 out of 40, which is crazy because realistically you have to get a 32 out of 40 to get 80%, which is an A. So why are there grade thresholds? Well, grade thresholds mainly depend on the difficulty of the paper because not every paper is the same difficulty and shouldn't be marked the same way. So for example, if a paper is really difficult, then its thresholds are really low. That means you can get a lower mark to achieve a higher grade. And that's how it works. But that's not the only thing we'll be looking at. There's something known as a syllabus component weighing factor, and this document is also available on the Cambridge website for every single subject. And we're going to use this to calculate our final marks. So let's take like an actual example. So we have this, we're going to still be looking at IGCSE physics. So over here, usually you do 3 papers, whether you do core or extended, but I'm looking at the extended version. So what you see over here, the 40 marks, 80 marks, and 40 marks, these are called the raw marks. So you're done writing your paper, they've been shipped, the examiners have them and they mark them, and they give you what you call your raw mark. And then you see these numbers, 1.5, 1.25, 1. Why are we multiplying them? Well, we just looked at it. The syllabus component weighing factors. So I went through this document and I found the weighing factors for the papers, and these are the weighing factors. So I multiply them and I get 60, 100, and 40, which adds up to 200. And this initially added up to 160, but now it adds up to 200. And you can see over here that the maximum mark after weighting is 200. So that is how they calculate your marks. So let's do an example, like an actual example, to see how this works. Okay, so let's start with multiple choice. Let's say for multiple choice, it wasn't really great. You got a 25 out of a 40. So you're going to multiply it with the weighing factor. So you have 25 times 1.5, and you're going to get 37.5. So let's write that down. And then theory was no great either. You got a 58. So you're going to multiply the 58 by 1.25, and let's see what that gives us. 58 times 1.25. Wait, my bad. I did not put the decimal. Okay, that gives us a 72.5. And the last one, practical. Let's say practical out of 40 you got a 28. You multiply by 1, you still get a 28. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add up all these numbers. So you have 37.5 plus 72.5 plus 28, which is going to give us 138. Okay, so usually they round down, but since I added them, it just became a whole number. So we have 138. Great. So this is your maximum raw mark that you got. And now we're going to compare it to the table. So for 148 is between, okay, let's say we do variant 1. It's between 147 and 123. So it's above 123 but below 147. That means you got an A. But let's calculate your exact mark. So let's calculate the difference between 148 and 123. The difference is 24 marks. But here's the thing. These 24 marks are like 10 grades, like not 10 grades, 10 marks apart basically, because 80 to 90. So we're going to divide it by 10 and you're going to get 2.4. So to increase by 1%, you have to get 2.4 marks. That's what I mean. Okay, so you have 138 and you're going to subtract 100. This is your mark. You're going to subtract this from it because it's the closest A. So you get 15, right? And the 15, that's 15 marks. So to get the percentage, you're going to divide by the 2.4 that we found. And that gives us 6.25. I don't think I can write there already over here. 6.25. And we're going to round down. So that's basically just 6. So what that means that if 123 is 80 on the dot and we got extra 6%, that means 138 is going to give you 86%. So if this was your real exam and you go 138 over 200, you're getting an 86%, which is crazy because 138 over 200 multiplied by 100 is 69%. 69%, that is like a C. I think that is a C. But because of great thresholds, you're getting an A, you're getting a high A. That means the paper was quite difficult, I can say, because you're getting 138 to get an A, but in reality it's a 69%. So I hope you understand how this works, and when you get your results, you can work it in reverse to get your actual raw marks. So yeah, that is everything for this video. I hope you learned something new, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.